Hello everyone, Rare Model Reviews here. And yes, I know it's been a while. I had a crazy month, but hopefully it's finally starting to calm down. So I'm going to go ahead and say it now. I'm going to try to shoot for an actual review later on this week. You'll know if you see it Friday, but otherwise, we're just going to go ahead and get onto it with an unboxing. So I believe this top one is Premium Bandai. The bottom one is... Actually, no, these are both Premium Bandai. That's right. I remember what's in here now. That's how you know that it's been a long month. I had these things sitting here ready for me to unbox for so long, I forget what was here, but we're going to go ahead and get into the little guy here first. So, I said I was going to eventually do a themed unboxing based on quite a few of the kits I've been unboxing lately. So, that's going to come a little later, but for now, I'm going to give you one of, I'm going to flat out say it now, many F90 kits that we're going to be unboxing in the near future. So this here is going to be the F90 A and L packs. Now this is the assault pack. This is like the F90 pack. The L is pretty prominent too. I know there's a lot of people excited for this thing, especially seeing as you can see here, this is using the F92 Gundam, which is like the, I guess you could say, upgrade version of F90. So people were super happy that we could reprise the look here, as the F92 is one who uses the launch pack. I'm sorry, the long range pack in the series. Now, I was actually surprised to find out this thing came out 2024. I thought the A and the L came out like first. Like, how do you take so long to put out the mission pack for the assault? That's crazy to me, but regardless, I got this one. And it's funny too, because I was looking for this one for a while too. I had no idea the reason why you didn't get it is because it didn't come out yet. So that's just me assuming, you know, they would have made this thing before any other pack, but I guess I was wrong. Now, at this point, I need to do some research, see what was the first mission pack they made. But getting on into it here. So we have, this looks to be the D2 runner, so this has the stickers on it and what have you. A white sheet here, some of that strange purplish, grayish colors that they always use for the F90. Now we have some reds here, as well as some grays. I also want to point out that I start playing around my settings, so I went back to the original setting, which this setting is what it described as being for reviews. I played around it. It doesn't look as shaky as it was the last time I used this, so hopefully it being a bit more zoomed out makes unboxings a little bit, dare I say, more clear, if not better. And I guess I just try to keep it steadier in hand or something. And like I said, if I didn't say already, so I'm like yapping here. I swear, when I was playing around it, it didn't look as shaky as it looked at that one unbox I reviewed when someone commented on it. But at this point, I'm just going to do my best and just go forward from there, as I played around with this camera enough. At this point, I just want to find an editing program so we just get back to business as usual and pray that the quality was worth all the money I spent on this camera. But this looks like this thing's gonna have a separate backpack. One of these packs, I think it's gonna be the A, if I'm not mistaken. The A had a pretty complicated looking backpack from what I've seen at these images here. But I'm gonna go ahead and put everything inside the box. And now we may resume on here with the manual. So I also want to point out I'm actually building another mission pack, so hopefully by the time I'm finally done all these shenanigans with unboxings and figuring out an editing program, I can finally start to show off what I've built in a review. So it looks like we start here with the A, which is the pack that I'd argue everybody wants to build first. So it's actually funny that they built the A before the L. Then again, I think they usually go in order of what they have on the cover. So yep. Oh, sorry. Yep. Actually, it looks like that extra backpack is for the L. So it looks like the L, you're gonna take off the normal backpack and switch out with this different one here. Whereas with the A, you're most likely just gonna put this gear on top of the F90's default backpack and go from there. So the A is just like super complicated, like a lot more bulkier than I thought. I thought it just really had these little arm propellant things or whatever the heck. And then of course the bazooka, but nope. It actually has an entire backpack you put on and whatnot, so very bulky pack. Looks like it's okay, this is just trying to tell you that you can put the bazooka on the back. I swear it just went onto the hard points on the back skirt armor F90, but it looks like there's a dedicated thing for that. I think I already looked at this. I'll just kind of scamper over it. Okay, we have the last few pages here, just showing off how to build that enormous sniper rifle, which it looks like it has 2 different ammo packs or something for it. I'll get to the bottom of that, of course, when I build it and then eventually review it. And it looks like it wants you to take off the beam sabers. Oh no, it's a backpack you put over the default backpack. Okay, then you put the beam sabers in the shoulder there. So obviously with that other backpack on it, probably a little awkward grabbing the beam sabers from this thing. It's always funny when they tell you to use the same beam sabers and just like relocate it, because there's actually some mission packs that actually flat out just have you completely replace the beam sabers, which is the case for the Vesper pack, which I'm actually currently building now. But I'm gonna go ahead and throw that thing out of here and bring this big boy back up here. I'm gonna say it right now, I have some big boys in this box here. Well, really one of them is not big, it's just something that comes with it is pretty big, I guess you'd say. So let's get on into it. Ooh, okay. I did not expect this thing to have one of those tapes around it, but if you cannot tell what we are looking at, this is going to be the Master Grade Destiny Gundam Heine Westenfluss Custom. So I'm not sure if this comes from any manga or let alone video game. All I know is I love Heine. I thought it was very interesting having him in a Destiny Gundam, as I always figured, or rather thought, that Heine was supposed to get the Destiny Gundam before he fed his untimely demise. And of course the random said, oh, we custom made it for you, but really they probably just used Shin's data to make the Destiny for Heine to use. As let's face it, although it was in that special color, the Goof is a mass-produced mobile suit, if not an Aces suit, but Heine is Faith. So if Athlon could be a Faith member with an entire Gundam savior, I'm sure another Faith member, Heine, would get the same treatment. So this thing just looks amazing in that orange color. I also love the Gundam-based box art here for all these things. I'm going to go ahead and say now, yes, this is Gundam-based. So typically you would pick this up from the Gundam-based stores that are scattered all over the world, the little pop-up shops. However, this was available on P Bandai, of course, so that's where I got it. So everything, of course, with this being a 2024 kit, it is in English and Japanese, as you can see. Get this thing to focus. So basically, this thing is just a recolor of the Extreme Burst version of the Destiny Gundam, which came out like a decade ago at this point. And then, of course, the little base here, I'm going to assume, is orange instead of, I think it was like blue in the original version. So this thing's going to come with like just about everything from the original Extreme Burst, but again, it's like in Heine's little colors. Oh, they actually have some explanations here. So it's kind of explaining whatever reason this thing is for existing. So I don't have time to read it while I review it, but I'm going to pause it there. Hopefully you guys can read all this stuff here and deduce what this thing is about if you don't know already yourself. And of course, I gotta bring some more attention here because this is everything that's going to come in this box. So a wide assortment of things. It comes with just about everything but a second shield, but that's just fine. I always thought it's funny how Destiny has a physical shield and a beam shield. It's just like Destiny had a lot of weird redundant weapons, and one of their favorites was definitely stacking up shields, such as the, what's his name, the Infinite Justice, which actually I gotta do a review of sooner rather than later. I had that thing built for a while now, but with my camera situation and whatnot, yeah. So these are going to be the wings. These things are massive. I didn't expect them to be so big. We have a pretty small sheet of stickers here, so just for the eyes, a few other cameras and what have you. Hands are also big as well. Jeesh, I didn't expect this thing be so large in a lot of these areas. This is only a 1 to 100. I know the Destiny stuff is around the time they start making mobile suits normal size, but geesh. And also these are beam effects, so they're like more yellow than orange, but still looks cool nonetheless. Has some water slide decals here. Nothing too special here, just really markings such as the model numbers and whatnot for the Destiny. Some of the gray inner frame there. The clear pieces here. So unfortunately, it looks like for the Pomo Fioshina, I believe it's called, it looks like that's going to be in clear. So if you want that to be that blue paint color, you're going to have to paint that yourself. So that's good for those who like to paint, and bad for those of you who do not, or rather don't have any clear acrylic colors to really make that pop. Thankfully though, the beam shield is colored just fine. It's got some nice blue and some white effects there. We have the Arondite sword. Looks like some more parts for the thrusters, rifle, and then I'm pretty sure that's the back of the shield there. Some of the last few pieces for the backpack and the wings. And again, just look at the size of these parts. Holy crap, I can't wait till I build this thing and see just how massive this thing is. So this is off white color for the armor, the beam boomerangs. And then got a nice moss green for the long range cannon there. So this thing actually uses screws. I don't know if this is going to be for base or for anything else on the kit itself. I'm going to assume it's for the base. I think I can see where there'd be some screws, but just look at how big this boy is. I can see why this custom base it has here needs a screw. And also it's very cool this thing has a custom base. I'm sure any other base would have probably worked just fine, but you just got to love some of that attention to detail. So this thing is for the Wings of Destiny here. I'm sorry, Wings of Light. I call them Wings of Destiny. Hey, Wings of Destiny does sound cooler though, in my opinion. But they have these things labeled specifically for each side, so I'll be sure to keep these things in the bag when I'm building this thing until it's time to actually bring them out, so I don't mess anything up. So I'd hate to put the wrong wings on and something goes horribly wrong as a result, despite it seeming like these wings probably would be around the same size or whatever. But I think I can see why. I think one part kind of has that, the back, the front kind of thing going for it, but moving on. So I'm going to take this stuff out of the box, put all the parts back into the box, and then we will go over the manual itself, as it appears to have the P-Bandai Special manual where you have the normal manual from ages ago, and then the P-Bandai manual for whatever new parts might have came with this thing. I think that didn't take very long to put back in the box at all. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I guess I'll go look at the new menu here. It looks like all it really is now that I look at it is just some stuff for the water slide decals, which I'm going to assume did not come with the original. Oh no. So did this thing not come with Wings of Light effects in the original? Because that's what I'm looking at here. There's some of the stuff here showing the Wings of Light. Oh, maybe it didn't have any parts for the boomerangs either in the original. Oh, okay, nice. And there's a little effect here to have you put that into the Pomo Fioshina, because that's actually a beam cannon in its hands. Just for some reason, Shin always uses it as like a melee weapon. So very interesting. Yep, just as I thought in the back here, we have the guide on where to put all the stickers and stuff. And this thing looks so cool in orange. So we go ahead and throw that in there, and then get the manual out. So. Geesh, almost 20 years ago. Oh my gosh, way to make me feel old. I was like in middle school during that time. So of course, with this being the old recycled manual, of course, everything is going to be in Japanese, but have no fear. With this being a 2007 kit, everything's going to be laid out just fine. You'll still see some stuff here, such as each individual part here in English. So for the most part, I don't think it'd be too much of an issue building this thing. You just got to really pay attention to the symbols and what have you. You do just fine. So this looks like a picture of Shin and Stella for some reason next to Destiny. Last time I checked, he got the Destiny after Stella died, but let's just say that's her ghost, so it makes more sense. So again, this being a bit of an older kit, it's not going to be quite laid out as well as a lot of the modern stuff is, but I built plenty of stuff from this age back in the day, as I'm an old man now apparently. And for the most part, a lot of my kits came out just fine. So this is by one and only Master Grade Destiny. I do have another Destiny in the high grade, the original high grades that came out around the time the show aired. That thing was all right. Only thing that I really had an issue with that thing is it felt a little flimsy and floppy, and it didn't help that I think I dropped it a lot or something. I don't know what happened. All I know is that thing broke into several pieces. I managed to glue it well enough where if I wanted to, I could bring it out, but I probably won't. That thing was like from when I basically just started building kits, so I am not proud of a lot of stuff from when I first started building model kits, to be completely honest. But moving on along, that last page we're just looking at was the good old MS track, so they showed off what its role in the show was, some coloring guides, or how amazing you can make this thing look if you did a little bit of painting to it, if not just completely repainting it to make it look a bit more weathered or have that bit more of a matte finish to it and whatnot that some people might prefer. We of course have the wing construction here. Speaking of wing, I actually just built the Gundam wing Verka. That thing's actually pleasure built, and again continues to solidify my wondering of why people claim Verka kits are for experts and whatnot, as that thing wasn't that hard to build at all. Then again, I've been building kits for decades now, so it shouldn't be, huh? But moving on along. Shield looks pretty straightforward, easy to build. I cannot say the same for the Wing Zero shield. That thing was actually probably the most complicated shield I ever built. But moving on along here, the construction of this thing kind of looks a little bit similar to the Strike's Sword Striker shield. And then, of course, we have here instructions on how to build the stand here. And as I thought, that's where that screw comes into play. And it's got a little cradle you put the for the backpack to hold this thing up. Hopefully the backpack is on very well, as I do not know how I feel about the backpack holding up this behemoth here. As again, this thing looks like a big boy. So looks like we are reaching the end here. So there's some stuff here for the markings, although they have the other one for the seals. I wonder if maybe these were sticker style decals or dry rub on decals or shoe cases here, whereas the other one's a water slide. But just have some bit of finishing touches here on what things you gotta play around with to get this thing just right for the stand and what have you. And otherwise, that is going to be it. So of course we have the original look of the Destiny gunner. I don't think there's any parts here that's going to change at all, so this is going to most likely be that same old Destiny from ages ago. But from the reviews I've seen of this thing when it first came out all those years ago, I don't remember anything bad coming from this kit. I think they really, the gist of the original review is basically get this and not the standard Destiny, as you're wasting your money. But speaking of the standard Destiny, or should I say not so standard Destiny, I wonder what is in this equally as large box we have under here. Any guess? I see this weird pink wing effect here. No way this madman's reviewing, or rather unboxing, two Destinies, right? Well, yes, I am crazy enough to do just that. So if I can zoom this thing out, boop, there we go. We have the Destiny Gundam Spec 2 in the Zeus silhouette. So if I'm not mistaken, I think this one was kind of selling out in stores or something. All I know is it popped up on P Bandai, and they had this spend 120 get free shipping deal going. So I couldn't find anything else that I wanted more that was shipping the same time as that Destiny Gundam here. So I just ended up getting both of these things. So here we go. We got the Spec 2 with the Zeus here, which you could use for the Akatsuki. I don't know if there's any other kits you can use it for. I want to say it's just these two. I want to say that's what I wanted to get instead of one of these things or something, or at least just try to squeeze it in, but I couldn't justify doing it or whatever, so I held off on Akatsuki, especially because I heard that thing's got frame issues due to it apparently using the same frame as an older Royal Grade C kit, so I'll probably end up holding off on that thing, especially as I'll probably end up having to get that custom frame I seen on the Gundam store, which is a bit sturdier. It solves the issues a lot of people complain about with the Akatsuki apparently falling apart on people. Not even falling apart, just the thing couldn't stand up on its own. I mean, I'm sure it'd probably be just fine with an action base, which I bet you didn't come with that thing, but maybe eventually I'll go and get that Akatsuki and see for myself if this is as bad as everyone is making it out to be. So this is, of course, an unpainted image of the Destiny. Everything else is painted. Nice cinematic shot of this thing. So this thing, I guess, is technically a mobile armor, so here I am adding yet another mobile armor to my collection. Now that I think about it, I am coming up on a vacation soon, so if I could get that editing program, my whole situation situated, maybe I'll look and see if there's any more mobile armors I might want to hurry up and build so I can go and do a week of the monoliths, or rather month of the monoliths, part 2. I don't know where I'm trying to put this thing, so alright. See if we can wrap this thing up within 30 minutes. I'm sorry, 10 minutes, so we can make it 30 minutes. So we, of course, have this mossy, yellowish, goldish, greenish color here for the Zeus. Some stuff here for the eyes. Some grays here. This thing just looks so cool. I can't wait to build this thing. Wings look big, but not as big as that Master Grade. So I guess this thing just really has ginormous wings. I didn't realize how big these wings were. They didn't look this big for the original High Grade, I'll say that much. So one thing this definitely has over the High Grade I built is it did not have a effect part for the Palm of Yoshina. It had an open hand part, but nothing to put in it. I know I ended up coloring the hand to give it that effect, so it didn't bother me as much that, you know, it felt like it was missing something there. So this thing is very interesting to me, as it's basically a miniaturized version of the full burst, the full blast mode of the the full blast variant of the Master Grade Destiny. It has like just about all those effect parts. Like if I'm not mistaken, later on the bottom there should be some parts to even allow you to have the boomerangs and stuff in mid-air, as well as wings of light. So at this point, the Heine Custom is going to be the only Master Grade Destiny I'll probably ever own, as although it is a high grade, I would have loved to have something more in scale with my other Seed Gundams. I think this is satisfy my urge for having a Destiny to my collection, especially if this thing even comes with an action-based 6, which I could definitely use for some. Oh no, this is actually a 7 for some of my other kits. I'm sure the 7 will work just as well as the 6. I just love the off-white. This is almost a grayish color this thing has. Looks so good in detail. That's why I love the High Grades. High Grades are just so amazing these days. They're like pretty much mini Master Grades. Only thing they're really missing is a full dedicated inner frame, a cockpit hat. So yep, we have some parts there for the wings of light, the sabers. Actually, I don't see anything. I see parts for beam boomerangs, but nothing that looks like it'll be able to hold them up in the air. We'll see if there's something I'm missing, or we'll be able to figure out. Maybe I could do something of my own to get them posed in the air. Action bases are so good these days. There's usually like all kinds of things to hold up a lot of these parts and whatnot anyway, if you could position them just right. So we'll see if that's the case. So there we go. Everything all nice and neat in the box. I swear I'm getting so much better at putting things back in the box. I used to be so sloppy with them, but getting back on into it. Zooming this on in. So we of course have here all the stuff talking about Shin and his role in Compass and whatnot. And this is more like a Zaf uniform than his Compass uniform. I remember his Compass uniform still having Zaf colors there, but moving on, we have the story of Seed Freedom, where this came from. And we're going to go ahead and quickly get through this manual here, because I'm already upset enough. One of the last unboxings I tried to do, I guess I spent too long on it, and as a result it would not let me upload it to my phone so I could upload it onto YouTube, which is why, again, I'm trying to get the editing software and whatnot. If not, just straight up figure out if I can upload this thing to my computer and upload to YouTube from there. So it looks like, strangely, they start you off building the action base, which is interesting. They never usually do the action base first. Also find it interesting they're trying to get you to build a little claw hand thing that said you'd probably be able to use to pick up the boomerangs or something like that. So they're of course showing off all the different poses. You can put that amazing brand new action base there. the head, which you build in like 3 steps, followed by the body. So this is more of the modern state of how to build stuff in kits. I just love the fact that they have the parts numbers, I'm sorry, the runner numbers or whatever, separate from the actual part itself that you got to take off from the runner. So as a result, it's much more clear on what parts you need to get. Stopped a lot of errors here with you mistaking C1 for, you know, the part C on a C runner. That's number 1. No, it's a C1 3, you know, then there's be C2 3 or whatever. So a lot less boo-boos or whatnot. Everything is in English here. So this is I'll go ahead and say brand new kit. I mean, it's less than a year old, right? So I say brand new. I just wish they just went ahead and made everything in color for a lot of these kits, but I can already say here, especially me building like nothing but master grade stuff all month or last month into this month, except for like maybe 1 high grade. This thing, it just looks like it's going to be a breeze to go through. Whenever I get around to building this thing, I imagine I'll shoot through it. So it'd definitely be refreshing to be able to build something super duper fast, to be able to look at it, as opposed to the slow grind of part after part, depending on how much time I can dedicate into building. And we get the Zeus silhouette, which is a monster. This thing's going to be more like building a master grade, I imagine. But then again, a lot of the stuff is just really big parts. It's not that I'm looking at this thing. A lot of times you can see something big and intimidating like this, and you think, oh, this could be forever before I build this. And then you see, no, most of it's really just big, bulky parts. It's as that line in the 0083 says, it's just a Hulk. You know, it's nothing to be intimidated by. You get enough experience building Gunpla, even something this big won't be scary at all. It's just, again, cutting up big parts and slapping them together. Now, when it's little tiny parts and stuff, that's when it starts to become an issue. Like right now, I'm starting to see a lot more tinier parts. That's where it starts to get tedious and time consuming. You got all these tiny parts to really put together, what have you. But nonetheless, I can't wait to build this thing and then just have it on my shelf here. Jeez, I'm just getting so many big kits. It's like, where am I going to be able to put all this stuff? I don't even have my Dendrobium on a shelf. It's like on top of a box in my room. I managed to put the Destroy on my collection here. In fact, sorry to cut away from it. I'm going to go ahead and show it now. Like, this thing is literally like the centerpiece of my shelf here. Like, it takes up like almost half my shelf here. So I managed to find a place for it there. But whereas the Psycho Gundam, that thing's just like right next to Dendrobium in the corner there where I could find some space. But there's a few pages left of this thing. So it looks like our final step here is how to build or rather get the Destiny into the Zeus here. So very interesting looking structure they're trying to tell you for building this thing. I don't know what the heck it's trying to tell me to do. I'll figure out when I actually have all this stuff built and I'm combining it myself. But it is definitely going to be interesting to see how this thing works out. As I believe people are saying the Destiny Gundam, including this thing, is the same respec we got who knows how long ago. They just recolored it to have a bit of a different, well, paint scheme to it. So it's definitely always interesting when they manage to retune things and make it work with a new kit flawlessly, which I'm hoping this thing does. There's nothing worse than when they try to reuse something older with something newer and it just doesn't work out well. And then we have the last shot here of you finishing up the touches on how to build the Zeus here in color. And it looks like this thing needs that extra base there just to hold up that gun. So there we go. That looks like that's the one issue with this thing. It can't quite hold up that gun, but they found a way to work around the weight issues this thing would have holding up that massive cannon, as you can see there. So very cool. Again, can't wait to build that thing. And that is going to be it for everything in this not so little unboxing of mine. So again, I tried to keep this as short as possible, and I feel like I said just about all I need to announcement wise and all that. So instead of me doing my usual spiel of rant and raving before I end the video, I'm just going to go ahead and say thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, again, unboxing. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and try to get the lead out on. Again, just at this point, I'm just going to see if I can find an editing software for my computer. And just get on with it. No more excuses. I've waited long enough, push this back. I need to just get on to using my new camera and making new content, because I don't want to have another month or two of me not putting anything out. So again, thank you guys all for your patience. Things are going to get bigger and better from here. Just you wait. As always, if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. And I'll see you in the next video or review.